Hi there, Marcia here and welcome back to Miralsi. Today is the 21st of July, which is the Belgian national holiday. So I thought it would be fun for this video that we take a closer look at Belgians, what are our typical habits and quirks, and then try to learn something from them. Now, I want to start off by saying that, of course, these are stereotypes and generalizations, but this is just for fun, and I hope you enjoy it. Take it with a grain of salt and just sit back and relax. So, first things first, if we talk about Belgium, what is the first thing you think about? Is it fries, waffles, chocolate, beer? Then, well, you're on the same wavelength as most people. This is totally normal because we Belgians, we love food and drinks. So, first tip that I want to give is to really learn to enjoy your food and your drinks. Of course, I would recommend that you try to eat healthy, but that doesn't mean that you cannot enjoy your food. And also, if you decide that you want to have that beer or that dessert, then you shouldn't feel guilty about it and you should just enjoy it. Then the second lesson you can learn is to make your house into a home. And I'm saying this because typically we Belgians, we don't only enjoy the comfort of our food and our drinks, but we also enjoy the comfort of our house. There is even a saying that goes, every Belgian is born with a brick in their stomach. That's just because we build a lot of houses. And I don't want to say that you necessarily have to build your own house, but just take the space you live in and try to turn it into something that you really enjoy, that you make it cozy and more personal, because living in a space that you enjoy, it just makes you feel better altogether. Then the third lesson, it might sound a bit funny, but it goes like, the surreal is possible. And I'm saying this because if there is one famous painter you know from Belgium, it's probably René Magritte. So he is a surrealist, and actually in Belgium we have a lot of surreal situations. This can be good or this can be bad. Like, bad example, we have Minister of Nature that says things like, trees are meant to be chopped down. Of course, we have maybe the better or the good surreal situations. And a funny example here is that around the 1960s, we had someone called Sœur Sourire, which in the US became known as the singing nun. So she was a nun who was also a lesbian, and she wrote a French hit song and it became a hit in the US. According to me, you just cannot make this stuff up, and what I want you to take away from this is that don't set limits on yourself saying this is not realistic, this is not possible, because so much is possible, just give it a shot. Then lesson number 4 is to see the humor in everything. So we are a pretty small country with bigger neighbors like Germany, France, the Netherlands, and of course, with all our weird situations, we have to tolerate some jokes from our neighbors or from other countries. Well, some people choose to be angry about that. The typical Belgian will just laugh along. A pretty recent example that comes to mind is that Trump called Brussels a hellhole. So Brussels is our capital city. And there we have this radio station that's called Studio Brussels, and they said like, okay, if Trump gets elected, we'll turn our name into Studio Hellhole, and yeah, Trump got elected. So for a few hours during rush hour, they called their radio Studio Hellhole. I think this is a typical example of we're just laughing along. And what you should learn from this is that it's okay to not be all serious all the time. And it's okay to just laugh along even with yourself sometimes. And then the last lesson that I want to finish off with is to be humble. And I say this because a typical Belgian is pretty humble and pretty modest, and we even do it to a fault. We are quite bad at selling ourselves, like in job interviews, because we feel that we shouldn't brag too much. And I think it is a pretty difficult balance to maintain. So to the overly humble and modest people, I would say, hey, it's okay to be proud of your work and don't be afraid to talk about it or show it off. And just as a more practical tip, if you ever come to Belgium and you start bragging a lot about your achievements, then know that a lot of Belgians will quickly find you overconfident or arrogant. It's a bit in our nature, but just remember, being humble definitely has its benefits. It's a bit too much to talk about in this video, but I found some very interesting stuff that I put on the list to ever make a video about it. And that was it for the 5 things you can learn from Belgium. I want to repeat that these are generalizations, but still I hope that you enjoyed it. Maybe that you learned something about Belgium, or maybe even something that you can apply to your life. Now, I'd love to make this into some kind of tag video, so if you also have some interesting things to share about your country or even your city, then feel free to take this concept and also make a similar video and post the link down below in the comments. I would love to see them, and maybe even make a playlist with all the similar videos. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button if you want more life improvement videos. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time. Bye!